for joining us for KPRC News at noon. I'm Lisa Hernandez. Andy's on assignment. Let's get it on over to meteorologist Caroline Brown for the latest on this rain today. Caroline?
Lisa, thankfully everything is pushing to the east. So after the storms pass through, you're actually going to start to see a little bit of a clearing. I think by this afternoon, conditions are going to be significantly better. Now, right now, where we have the heaviest of the storms, that's going to be impacting Chambers County. Take a closer look. You'll notice frequent lightning strikes. In fact, right now we're tracking over 400 lightning strikes associated with this system. And this box here, the National Weather Service has put out a special weather statement that's in place through 12:30 because it's capable of producing 40-mile-per-hour winds and the possibility of small hail. Now, if we put this radar in motion, thankfully, this storm continuing to push off towards the east. But as it's passing through, it's going to feel intense. This includes sea breeze over towards Winnie. Very soon, it'll be pushing off along the East Freeway towards Beaumont as well. It is going to be able to produce frequent lightning strikes and heavy downpours. Now, the National Weather Service has gone ahead and canceled that aerial flood advisory from Angleton over towards Danbury, but we still do have a flood advisory from Galveston up the Gulf Freeway over towards Dickinson. This is in place until 1:45. That's because we still have moderate rain showers continuing, and that can lead to some street flooding. So all of these showers continuing to push their way off towards the east. You can see up towards Madison County, a thunderstorm there as well. All in all, though, things are going to be getting better as we go through the next few hours. The benefit, too, is once it passes, we are going to see cloudy skies. But look at Austin, already seeing plenty of sunshine there. And temperature-wise, much more comfortable. Currently, 74 here in Houston, 77 in Katy. Pearland, a delightful 71. But we're not done with this rain just yet. Thursday and Friday, a 40 and 30% chance of rain. Lisa, coming up, I'll break down when you can finally put away the umbrella.
Okay, we'll check back. Carol, get things over to you because weather is leading the news today. We've seen it all week. This morning, particularly rough, right?
Definitely rough.
Yeah.
I mean, the roads were wet. We had heavy downpours, flood advisories. Thankfully, this is pushing off to the east, but before it has, it's dropped a lot of rain. Let me show you what it looks like out in Galveston, where they saw some heavy downpours. That's a look at Moody Gardens, where conditions starting to improve. As for how much rainfall we saw just around the Houston metro in the last 24 hours, Conroe, 1.5 inches. Pearland, about 3/4 of an inch. But across the area, you'll notice the highest totals. That was all south of I-10, over 2 inches in Angleton. I want to show you, though, the last 3 days. All of southeast Texas has seen quite a soaking. And Angleton, by the way, over 4 inches of rain. Same with Conroe, Livingston, 3.5 inches. So throughout the board, 2 to 4 inches of rain. It has been an active week, and we're not quite done yet. Storm Tracker 2 radar is showing currently the heaviest of the thunderstorms impacting portions of Chambers County. We still do have this special weather statement, but the strongest of the storms have actually pushed to the north and off towards the east of that special weather statement. Winnie off towards Bolivar, seeing those heavy downpours, frequent lightning strikes, winds up to 40 miles per hour. So not severe, but certainly the storm really packing a punch. Continuing off towards Galveston Island, still dealing with moderate rain showers, even up through the Gulf Freeway into the Houston area. Things should be lightening up, though. If we put our radar in motion, you can see everything slowly meandering to the east. I think it's a lot easier to focus on where it's been clearing. You'll notice Spring Valley already starting to see clearer conditions, and that's going to be pushing into the Houston area here very soon. As for areas well to our north, we're continuing to track thunderstorms in Madison County, College Station, some of those storms back building. So Madisonville likely going to see a few more storms over the next hour or so. Other than that, though, conditions should start to get significantly better as this pushes its way off to the east. As a reminder, we still do have an aerial flood advisory from Galveston up through Texas City through 145. That's because so much rainfall has come down that it's going to take a while for all of it to kind of drain out. Satellite and radar showing everything pushing out, which means what we're left with is actually a rather nice afternoon. Temperatures sitting in the mid 70s, 74 here in Houston, 71 at Hobby, dew points in the upper 60s to the lower 70s. So still a bit humid, but 70 degrees is 70 degrees. It's not bad outside. Rain chances decreasing as we head Thursday into Friday. A more summer-like pattern. So future track for tomorrow, much different than today. Not anticipating anything severe, just a few pop-up storms as we head into the afternoon. You'll notice by 1 o'clock, streamer showers pushing in from the coast, and that's what we can expect as we get really towards the rest of summer. The next 12 weeks, you can expect to see warm temperatures, 20% chance of rain showers. That's a generalization, but really we are seeing a pattern shift towards a more typical summer, to be clear, for the next 7 days. Of course, we're going to be checking in every day on the tropics.
It's a good start at least. Okay, thanks Caroline, I appreciate it. Another busy day of rainfall out there. We see the muddiness behind you there at the zoo this afternoon.
I mean, the elephant exhibit is so muddy. I guarantee you the elephants are going to love rolling around in it, but for now it's kind of gross outside where you have the mud. Now those rain showers have been pushing out, thankfully, and I say thankfully because it was rather heavy this morning. Right now from our Storm Tracker 2 radar, you can see the heaviest of those downpours impacting our electric as they roll their way through, but very soon conditions are going to be much more calm. We still do have an area where we're tracking the possibility of some street flooding. Ponding, mainly going to be for low-lying, poor drainage areas. If we stop our radar, you can see from Clear Lake to Dickinson, Texas City, down towards Galveston. This is where we do have an aerial flood advisory in place for about another hour. Main problem is we've seen several inches of rain, so it's possible we still have ponding. Now, as we go into the afternoon, things are drying out. We're only dealing with some light rain showers from Hobby Airport down through areas like Needville, Holiday Lakes, West Columbia. None of this is particularly heavy, but it is certainly inconvenient if you're out there on the roads. I want to take you in closer to the Houston area where we're already starting to see conditions dry out from West U to Bel Air. You're starting to see a nice break. Montrose starting to get a little bit patchy as well. Very soon, really, the west side's going to be clear. Then it's going to be clearing onto the east side as well. Continuing to north of town, this is where we're still seeing some of those showers out towards Shepherd. I'm trying to bring you up towards Madisonville because this is where we've seen some of the heaviest of the storms, and Madison County is where we're going to see them last the longest. If we put this in motion over the last hour, you can see we had a heavy round of storms roll through. Now we have more showers pushing in. Now, I'm saying showers because right now not seeing any lightning, but certainly is possible that we can see some lightning as those next showers push in. Otherwise, this is pushing to the east. We are going to be having a much nicer afternoon. Temperatures delightful. Currently 74 here in Houston, 73 in Conroe, 75 up in Huntsville. We still do have that humidity sticking around, so not perfect, but hey, it is not bad, especially for late May. As we go Thursday and Friday, we're going to see that heat really start to crank up. Temperatures upper 80s to the lower 90s. We're going to be seeing rain chances 30 to 40%, but not widespread, not severe, no street flooding threat. Lisa, thankfully, today is the end of our heaviest rainfall, but coming up, I'll let you know what to expect Thursday, Friday, and beyond.
What a stretch of days here. All right, Caroline, thank you. You were just chatting about how bad things were this morning into the afternoon. It's pushing east, but boy.
As it pushed through, it was intense. In fact, we just got reports from the National Weather Service. As it pushed through Chambers County, it had rainfall rates of 9 inches of rainfall per hour. Now, that doesn't mean they saw 9 inches. It means that if it continued to rain for an hour, it would have added up to 9 inches. So they got a incredibly fast 2 inches of rain in Chambers County. They're still seeing rainfall rates of about 1 inch per hour. So those numbers still going to continue to increase, but over the last 24 hours, the highest rainfall totals, that's been to the south of I-10. Factor in the last 3 days, and that's widespread 2 to 4 inches across southeast Texas. It's been soggy. Brenham, about 3 inches of rain, 2 inches here in Houston, Galveston over 3, Angleton over 4. This is a big soaker, and I'll tell you what, we actually like to see this before summertime because that's when we start to really dry out. So all of this is going to be good for drought prevention over the next several weeks. As for right now, a live look from our Storm Tracker 2 radar, you can see Chambers County, that is just to the east of the bay, still seeing with it some pretty moderate downpours, but the strongest of those storms, these were the ones that were producing 9-inch rainfall rates. That's going to be pushing its way off towards the east. In fact, we'll put this radar in motion where you can see those storms thankfully continuing to advance their way towards Beaumont, very soon getting to Port Arthur as well, really pushing out of our viewing area. But still, Mont Belvieu down towards Winnie, still dealing with some moderate rain showers. You can see that depicted in yellow here. If we go off towards where we have that aerial flood advisory, I would not be surprised if the National Weather Service expires this sooner. Portions of the Gulf Freeway from Galveston to Texas City underneath an aerial flood advisory for another hour. It's in place through 1:45, and you can see some light rain showers going to continue to push in over the next hour or so. Now, we are tracking the possibility of some of these storms pushing their way through slightly slower, so you might see this by 3 o'clock. Nothing heavy though, like what we have seen. Up to the north, you can see Madison still dealing with some of those showers pushing in, but here in the Houston area, we've actually seen a dramatic change. Really inside the loop, everybody's starting to dry out, and that's how we're going to be as we head into the afternoon. In fact, conditions much better than they have been. Mid-70s here in Houston, 71 in Pearland, 73 out in Fort Bend County. Dew points upper 60s and lower 70s, so still dealing with a little bit of humidity, but it feels really wonderful outside. If you're grilling this afternoon, still going to see a chance for showers at 1, but then we're going to be drying out. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Not bad at all. Really get out and enjoy it, because as we go Thursday and Friday, we're going to see rain chances continuing, actual air temperature getting into the upper 80s, lower 90s. Friday, a 30% chance of seeing showers and storms, but all in all, these rain chances tapering off. Take a look at our extended forecast. You'll notice on Sunday, we've got this symbol here because it's the start of hurricane season. That's June 1st. And as we enter June, we're also going to enter.
And what we can expect for this evening, Caroline?
Well, thankfully this evening, much more quiet compared to what we have been seeing. You'll notice all of those storms that passed through have now pushed their way off into Louisiana. Now we're just left with some lingering light rain showers. In fact, right now, those showers pushing off of the Galveston County, still seeing some light rain showers in Chambers County. Other than that, most of us just seeing a dry, quiet night. Even up towards Madison County, they were the last ones holding on to showers. Those have all dissipated. Now, I will say we are keeping an incredibly close eye on thunderstorms out to the west. You'll notice some big hail makers approaching I-35. Austin underneath a severe thunderstorm watch through 10 p.m. this evening. As those storms work their way towards the south and the east, they're going to enter our much more stable atmosphere. Hopefully this means those storms are going to fall apart. Otherwise, it could lead to the possibility of some more overnight storms. Regardless, over the next few hours, conditions much more quiet. You can see we've got partly cloudy skies. Temperatures currently sitting in the upper 70s and lower 80s. 79 here in Houston, 73 in Liberty, 83 out in Columbus. As we head through this evening, mostly cloudy conditions, temperatures dropping into the mid 70s. Now, once we get through the overnight hours, we are going to watch for the possibility of some thunderstorms to move in from the far west. Now, these storms, not a guarantee, but if they're able to hold together, they would start to move into our far western counties by 9 p.m. And then I forecast that they're going to start to fall apart. Now, when do they fall apart? We're just going to have to wait and see. But right now, it looks like more than likely they're going to fall apart before reaching Houston. Timeline, if they hold together, looks to be around midnight tonight, and that's going to bring even more heavy downpours. Now, Lisa, Andy, coming up, we'll talk about how much rainfall we've seen and how much rainfall we expect to see over the next week.
Caroline, thank you.
Looking at how much rain we got, this was a big storm that moved in.
A big storm that moved in, and thank goodness, because we have more storms out in West Texas, and I think the storms this morning are going to be what protect us this evening. Let me break this all down for you. Starting with what we saw earlier today, we had large aggressive storms that moved through. That brought with it widespread 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. And where we saw the heaviest of the rain, you can see especially areas to the south and east of Tomball. Those regions are now pretty worked over. Our atmosphere is more stable, meaning we're less likely to see any additional storms. You can see those storms really rolled through here earlier this morning, and now we're left with quiet, calm conditions. Now, we do still have some lingering rain showers out in Chambers County, but this is going to be pushing out within the next 30 minutes. And then our attention is going to turn out towards Waco. You can see these 2 different severe thunderstorm warnings all within that severe thunderstorm watch in place through 10 p.m. this evening. And these are strong storms. In fact, this storm just to the north of Burnett, that is capable of producing nearly 3-inch hail. They're saying 2.5-inch hail. That's the size of a tennis ball, in addition to 70-mile-per-hour winds. Now, as these storms dive into southeast Texas, the hope is that our stable atmosphere really just shrinks them. If they're able to hold together, I think it's possible it could reach the Piney Woods by later on this evening after sunset. 9 p.m. you can see College Station to Brenham. At this point, I think they're going to enter too stable of an atmosphere. That's going to tear the storms apart. So maybe some showers as we go through the overnight hours. It is possible that we could get a thunderstorm or 2. Not expecting anything as rowdy as what we saw this morning. Once we get to Thursday morning, that morning commute, things are going to be much better. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Into the afternoon, a 20% chance of a pop-up shower, mainly going to be south of I-10. Think those summertime streamer showers off the Gulf. Into Friday, once again, we're going to be starting off mostly dry in the upper 70s. Afternoon, much more summery. Temperatures in the 90s.
Meteorologist Caroline Brown joining us now with a look at the current conditions out there.
And things looking a whole lot better right now than they have been. You can see we've got dry skies tracking some storms out to the west, and these storms once again advancing their way towards southeast Texas. This is a severe thunderstorm watch currently in place. That's in place through 10 p.m. But what we have working for us is our atmosphere has already seen storms. That means we're much more stable. Where these storms are currently active, that's a very unstable atmosphere. Our future track is going to show these storms starting to taper off as they dive their way to the south and the east. In fact, by 10 o'clock, this model not showing any of these storms holding together. Compared that to the previous model that showed storms through the overnight hours. Now, as we go into the day tomorrow, starting off mostly dry, you'll notice rain chances pushing inland from the coast. That's going to be increasing through the heat of the day. So certainly by 3 to 6 p.m., that's when you're going to have your highest likelihood of seeing any of those downpours. We're going to continue to track more rain chances, not just Thursday, but also Friday. Less of a widespread threat. Right now, we've got some high clouds out there. Temperatures currently sitting in the upper 70s and the lower 80s, 82 in Katy, 75 out in Liberty. Dog walking forecast tonight. Going to keep mostly cloudy conditions. Lisa, Andy, it's cooler, but it's still humid. I think folks are really going to enjoy this evening.
All right, Caroline, thank you.
I wish we were done with it.
You're like, well, sorry, that's not the case.
So soon, though. And the good news is tonight's the last chance of really seeing heavy rainfall. After tonight, we're really just going to be tracking more typical rain. Afternoon streamer showers, everything pretty ordinary. But let's start with what's possible with this. And we're going to keep dealing with it as we head overnight. You can see we do have that severe thunderstorm watch just to the west of Austin and Waco. That's in place through 10 p.m. this evening. As for us, we've already been worked over. These thunderstorms pushed through this morning, really helping stabilize our atmosphere. Just took a lot of the energy out. As for the storms out to the west, these are currently working through an area that hasn't been worked over. So that's why they're able to thrive. And I do mean thrive. These storms capable of producing tennis ball sized hail approaching the Burnett area, certainly not something you want to mess with, but as it works its way into southeast Texas, we are anticipating them to start to lose a little bit of their strength. Now, the Piney Woods area could still see a heftier thunderstorm by late this evening. We're talking after sunset. And if they are able to hold together, they'd be reaching Bryan College Station, Brenham, even down towards Columbus by 9 p.m. I think once they reach Harris County, they'll start to be more showers, but some isolated thunderstorms are going to be possible by 10 o'clock. Rolling through Houston through the overnight hours and then pushing out of here. Now, we're not expecting anything widespread or quite as heavy as we have been dealing with. So your Thursday morning commute, conditions looking a whole lot better. Into Thursday afternoon, we are putting a 20% chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Like I said, just a typical summertime shower. This means it'd be coming up from the Gulf, what we call a streamer shower. As for right now, though, we've got high clouds outside, blue skies, temperatures actually rather pleasant for this time of year. Upper 70s and lower 80s. Right now, 77 in Livingston, 81 out in Katy. Dew points, upper 60s to lower 70s, so still humid. But with those cooler temperatures, it actually feels pretty nice out there. Over the next 3 days, temperatures are going to be warm, upper 80s to the lower 90s, with showers and storms possible every single day. But Friday and Saturday, mainly just going to be those typical afternoon storm chances. That means if you're heading golfing, well, the earlier the better. Rain chances tend to peak at the heat of the day, so try to get an early tee time, if not because of the storms, because of that heat and humidity. Saturday, 88 degrees. Sunday 90, and Sunday is also the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. You'll notice rain chances staying with us every single day for the